Welcome to Boys of Yoga. I'm Rory. This is Nick. This is Mark. And this class is called Sunrise Before Breakfast. It's just a one breath, one movement flow. Start in child's pose. Connect into an ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through your nose. Take a moment to ground yourselves like earth. Downward facing dog. Lift your hips high to the sky. Send your hands forward and down and sink your heels towards the earth. Hug your belly button to your spine. Lift your hips high. Walk your feet to your hands. Inhale to a halfway lift. Create a straight spine. Exhale, fold. Mountain pose. Reach your fingers to the sky. Lift up and extend to the sky. Exhale, fold. Let your hands feel the earth. Bend your knees, halfway lift, straight, strong spine. Walk back into a high plank. From here, you can lower your knees or take a chaturanga, your choice. Upward facing dog. Send your hips high, downward facing dog. One breath in. Take a full breath out and walk your feet to your hands. Breathe in, halfway lift, create a straight spine. Exhale, fold. Reach up to the sky. Fingers can touch or hands apart, your choice. Lift up. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, halfway lift, straight spine. Step back into high plank. Lower your knees. It's a choice, not an obligation. Lift up into up dog. Send your hips high, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, a long breath out. Walk your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Mountain pose. Reach to the sky, lift up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine. Step or hop back to a low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. One breath in. Full breath out. Float your feet up towards your hands. It's a choice. You can hop, you can walk. Breathe in, halfway lift. Fold forward. Chair pose. Sink your hips low. Send your hands high to the sky. Make sure your knees are back so that you can see all 10 toes. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, straight spine. Float, step back into high plank. It's a choice. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot to right hand, warrior one. As you breathe in, you rise up. As you breathe out, chaturanga, low plank, hands to the earth. Upward facing dog, hearts open. Downward facing dog, hips high, left foot to left hand, warrior one, rise as you reach. Chaturanga, low plank, it's a full breath out. Up dog as you inhale. Down dog as you exhale. Take one breath in, breathe it out. Float your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold forward. Chair pose, hips low, hands high. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, straight spine. High to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot warrior one. Inhale as you rise up. Chaturanga, low plank. You move and flow with your breath. Let your inhales lift you up. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Left foot warrior one. Rise as you breathe in. Chaturanga, low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high. Bend your knees. Stack your hips. Come forward into a high plank. Big toes to touch. Press down into your right hand, side plank as you reach your left hand towards the sky. Stack your feet or take a variation and drop your right knee down to the floor. Extend and lift your left fingers up towards the ceiling. Release high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg high, bend your knees, stack your hips open, and then come forward into a high plank. Big toes to touch. Roll onto the outside edge of your left foot. Stack your feet or lower your left knee down to the earth and extend and reach your fingers up high. Send your hips a little bit higher, high to low plank. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high. As you exhale, step it forward to your right hand and breathe in and rise up, crescent lunge. Hands to heart center. Exhale, twist, left elbow over right knee. Send the crown of your head forward, pull back into your left leg and open your chest up towards the ceiling. Release your hands to the earth, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg high. Step it forward into a crescent lunge. Rise up as you breathe in. Hands to heart center. Exhale, twist, right elbow over left knee. Send your right heel back, the crown of your head forward, twist as you breathe. Release your hands to the earth, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, a long breath out. Walk your feet up towards your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. Sink your hips low. Squeeze and hug your thighs together. And then sit a little bit lower. Hands to heart center. Twist left elbow over right knee. Breathe and lengthen. Exhale and twist. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold forward. Chair pose. Sink your hips low. Hands reach high. Bring your hands to your heart center as you exhale, twist right elbow over left knee. Find a twist. 3, 2, 1. As you exhale, fold forward. Crow pose. And you can take a variation. You can just come into a yogi squat. Otherwise, hug your inner thighs together. Press your big toes together. Take your weight further forward than you think you should. And like an aeroplane, fly. 3, 2, 1. Shoot back, low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Send your hips high and then come forward, high plank. And you have a choice. You can lower your knees to the floor or you can keep your knees lifted. It's a choice. Low plank. High plank as you inhale. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Send your hips high. Come forward, high plank. Lower your knees to the floor if you wish. It's a choice, like Mark's doing. Low plank. It's just yoga. There's no need to struggle. High plank. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Hearts open. Hips high, downward facing dog. Come forward into a high plank and slowly lower down to your bellies for 5. You can lower your knees. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, lie down. Extend your toes towards the back of the room. Reach your fingers towards the back of the room and bring your forehead down onto your mat. Press your hips into earth. And lift your head, your shoulders, your toes, your thighs. Give them the opportunity. 3, 2, 1. Release down to earth as you exhale. Interlace your hands behind your back. Reach your fingers towards the back of the room. And then as you breathe in, lift up for 3. For 2. Stay for 1. Exhale, release, come down. And you can do the same locust pose or bend your knees, take hold of your ankles for floor bow. Flex your toes towards the back of your room. Send the crown of your head forward. Press your hips down and then kick back into your feet. Let your legs do the work. Breathe here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, come down. When scream, wipe your feet side to side. Let them go. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Slide yourselves forward into an upward facing dog. Let your toes reach back and lift everything up off your mat. Send your hips high, downward facing dog. Walk your feet through to your hands. Come all the way to lie down on your back and set up for a bridge. So in bridge, you want to make sure that you can scratch your ankles. Heels in line with hips. Big toes just slightly turned in. Send your hips up towards the ceiling. Press your shoulders down into earth and allow your chest to move towards your nose. Keep your gaze towards the ceiling and then exhale, release your hips to the floor. Take a breath in, breathe out. As you inhale, lift your hips high to the sky. Interlace your hands behind your back. Wiggle your shoulders in towards one another. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, come down. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Bridge pose or a wheel pose. In wheel, you want to place your hands by your ears, fingers facing back towards you. Press down into your hands, press down into your feet. Come up onto the crown of your head first. Reset. Bring the elbows in towards one another and then send your hips up towards the ceiling. Maybe lifting the head up. Breathe here for 5. Allow your heart to open. 3. Chest lift. 2. And 1. Release, come down. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Come back to bridge or wheel. In your own time, for 5 breaths, press your hands into earth. If you're coming into bridge, interlace your hands behind your back. If you're in wheel, send your hips up towards the ceiling. Allow your hearts to open out wide. Extend and press the earth away to lift up. 3, 2, 1. Release, come down. Tuck your chin to your chest, slowly lower your spine down. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees out wide, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. It's a full breath in and a breath out through the mouth. Go. Nice, Nick. Take a full breath in. Hug your knees up in towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug of love. And then bring your knees over your hips. Flex your toes back towards your face and interlace your hands behind your head. Lift your head and shoulders up off the mat. And this is our starting position. So press the belly down into the floor. And take 10 little pulses for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees in towards your chest as you breathe out. Rock and roll on your mat, holding the backs of your knees. Breathe in as you roll up, exhale as you roll back. You would take 3 or 4 rolls and find yourself in boat. So boat, your feet can be on the floor. You can hold the backs of your knees like Nick is doing here. Or you can extend your hands out wide like Mark is doing here. Maybe you extend your legs, that's an option. Maybe you don't. You just breathe. A little bit of tranquility, focusing the mind, focusing the breath. Cross your ankles, hug your knees into your chest, plant your hands down on your mat, step back into a high plank. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Pause here for a second. Just feel a nice stretch through the front side of your body. And then send your hips high, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, a long breath out, and walk your feet through your hands. Come lie down on your back. Setting your feet up for bridge. And then lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Take your right ankle and place it on the outside of your left leg. And use your right hand to press the right thigh away. Just focusing your breath. Letting your drishti, your focus, move inward. Letting the hip open out nice and wide. And then release hand, release leg to the floor. Switch legs. Lift your left leg up high. Bring the outside of your foot to the outside of your right knee. Use your left hand to press the thigh away. And for a moment here, just breathe. Focus not only your breath, maybe keep your eyes open. Find that one fixed point, that external point on the ceiling that allows you to bring focus inward, to quieten the mind. Something I like to do when I'm in my busy day or if I'm on a packed train, I just find one thing that's not moving and I bring my focus to that. Brings me a little bit more centering, a little bit more calm. Release your left leg. Take both feet down onto the floor. Extend your feet out wide. And then sit up. Bring your big toes to touch. Legs out in front of you. Flex your toes back towards your face. Extend your fingers up towards the ceiling. Breathe in. Hug belly button to spine. Exhale, fold forward. Now just completely soften. You can rest your chin on your chest. Your forehead on your knees. Feel a rounding through the spine. And then inhale to rise up. Plant your hands behind your back, fingers face forward, bend your knees or keep your legs straight, it's a choice, and lift up into a reverse tabletop. Send your hips up towards the ceiling. Keep your gaze towards the sky. If it feels too much on the neck, look towards your knees. Exhale, release, come down. Plant your hands into your sacrum. Lower down onto your forearms for fish pose. Extend the toes forward. Point them as far forward as they can go. And drop the crown of your head back. And then tuck your chin to your chest. Slowly lower yourself all the way down onto the floor. And lift your legs up towards the ceiling. So just coming into a little inversion. You can hold the backs of your legs like Nick is doing here, or you can actually plant your hands down into the floor and use your hands as brakes to kind of press. Send the balls of your feet up towards the ceiling. Imagine that you're standing on the clouds. Breathe here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bend the knees. Take the legs down to the floor. Extend your legs out in front of you. Hug your right knee up into your chest. Give it a squeeze. Use your left hand to draw it across your body for a supine twist as you take your gaze and extend your right hand out towards the side wall. Come back to center. Let your right leg go long. Hug your left knee up into your chest. Give it a squeeze and use your right hand to draw it across your body as you take your gaze over towards the left side. Extend your left fingers long. Come back to center. Take your legs out nice and wide. Take your hands away from your body. Palms face up towards the ceiling. Take a full breath in through your mouth. Breathe it out. Go. Inhale. Exhale. Savasana, final rest. Thanks for practicing. Check us out on www.boysofyoga.com for more videos and other interesting facts and figures.